Welcome back to In the Can. I have the honor of speaking with BMI about everything that's happening at the festival this year. Doreen Ringer-Ross is here on the couch live in studio. Next to her is composer Ed Shearmur. Thanks so much for being here today.
Our pleasure, always.
So, Doreen, let's just get started with BMI. Tell me about their presence here at the festival.
Well, BMI is a performing rights organization that represents songwriters and composers and music publishers. But we've had this long-standing relationship with Sundance, for decades now. And it started out with an association based on the Composer Lab, which is now the Film Composer and Sound Design Lab at Skywalker. But we've been involved in that for years, developing new composers and using our top composers as advisors at the lab. And really it's the only place where a director and a composer actually get to interact together. We were just talking about that. All the scoring schools are great for learning how to score, but they don't have filmmakers involved. So it's kind of one hand clapping. But anyway, we've been doing that for years, and Ed had been involved as an advisor back when we were doing it in Utah up at the resort. We tie it into this festival by virtue of this roundtable that we're doing here on Sunday, which is a way of putting directors and composers out there to explore that creative process, which is very much what we do at the lab. And Ed is on that because he's got a film in the festival for, what's it called?
4 Good Days.
4 Good Days.
Yeah, and in fact, it's with Rodrigo Garcia is the director, and my association with him coincides almost exactly with my association with the Institute. I came up, I think, first in 2000, and Rodrigo was part of first the Writers Lab and then the Directors Lab, and the film that he was developing there was a film called Things You Can Tell Just by Looking at Her, which I had the pleasure of scoring, and we've worked together on and off, now for 20 years. Right. So, to be here talking about, film that is in the festival, but also to be, involved with Doreen and BMI is a real thrill.
And what an incredible and unique opportunity that you're providing here. You have composers working with directors, as you mentioned. You also have budding composers, people even just attending the festival, and they're just curious. They all can come and learn from one another. It's a really great collaborative environment.
Right, it's true. And, we're not selling anything. We're actually just focused on developing storytellers, on developing artists. And to me, that's really exciting. And that's what's really exciting about Sundance, actually. Their mission statement, no matter what kind of hoopla has happened over the years at this festival, if you scrape down to, what are they about, it's always been about giving a leg up to artists that have an original voice, that have something to say, and helping them come to a place where they can do that. So it's like giving birth all the time, except your babies are pieces of art.
And you have these great artists coming in, like Ed. You've composed really incredible things, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. You've also won an Emmy, so you've done Miss Congeniality, a lot of things. So you're very well-renowned in this industry.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think that, one of the things that, listening to Doreen talk about, BMI, she kind of undersells what BMI gives to young composers, and, the sense of community, especially the fact that, you can move out of your bedroom where most people are making music these days in front of a computer, and you come out blinking into the wide world, and there is this community of young filmmakers, young composers, and everyone is dealing with the same issues. And just to have an opportunity to discuss, what those are, and to have a forum, I think is really, really valuable. I wish I'd had it.
Yeah, really very valuable. Really great to see you supporting just these people that are just starting out. Really great opportunities, as I mentioned before. And Doreen, tell me a little bit about what is happening at the festival. You mentioned the lab, there's also the Snowball event, and you're moderating a panel.
Right, the panel is what we call the Roundtable, and that's happening on Sunday at 3 o'clock at the Kimball Art Center. And Ed will be on it, and Rodrigo will be on it, and I think there's a piece of art that's now on your camera that you can see. So it's a number of different pairings of composers and directors, and we'll be talking for 2 hours, so we'll be exploring, different thought processes and technique. And then on Tuesday night, we're also doing our Snowball, which is, you know, a concert, and it's headlining Lisa Loeb. So we're excited about that.
And it's all female musicians this year.
It is 2 years in a row now.
Nice.
Yeah, the women thing is pretty interesting. You know, there's not a lot of women film composers. I mean, they're a growing bunch, but I have to say one of the things I'm most proud about is that Sundance has always had an agenda of inclusion, you know, long before it became the buzz topic that everybody's talking about and every HR department's focusing on. Always trying to include women and minorities, and we've done so in this lab we've been doing it for decades at this point, and it has actually changed the composition of the community. There's a lot of women that have, it's beyond parity at this point. In the labs, it used to be there were 1 or 2 women. Now it's over 50%. So really happy about that.
And BMI is very rooted in the festival. You have a long history of being here.
Yeah.
Where can we get more information about everything happening right now?
BMI.org. BMI.com. It's Sundance.org. Sorry.
BMI.com. We've got it on our screen right now.
Thank
I know
you.
there's a lot happening.
Whoops.
And Ed, what are you looking forward to the most at Sundance?
You know, I just arrived last night. I'm just catching my breath a little bit. You know, our movie screens tomorrow at the Eccles at 5:30. I'm really looking forward to that and sharing. You know, it's a really thoughtful look at how addiction, you know, can pull a family apart. It's Glenn Close, Mila Kunis in a really
Oh my God.
you know, just it's a difficult watch at times, but you know, I think you know, it's a look at a topic that is, you know, affecting so many people right now. So I'm looking forward to that. And then however the winds blow me over the next couple of days.
Well, looking forward to hear the score for 4 Good Days. I'm sure it's incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you so much.
It's an honor talking about BMI and also about the veteran composers that are here to help others.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
All right, check out BMI.com online. Also, they're all over social media, so you can check. They have a hashtag BMI Sundance, and they're on Instagram, Facebook. Find out what they're doing, not just right now, but year round. All right, thanks to Ed and to Doreen for being here. We have more coming up right after this.